Instead of letting the program crash, we can handle these errors gracefully. The try block contains code that might cause an error. If an error happens, the except block will run instead. For example, if you try to convert text into a number and it fails, you can catch a value error. A value error happens when the value is not of the expected type. Another common error is NameError, which occurs when you use a variable that has not been defined. You can also use an else block, which runs only if no error occurs. This structure makes your programs more stable and user-friendly. Next, let us talk about algorithms. An algorithm is simply a step-by-step process to solve a problem. You can think of it as a clear set of instructions. Most algorithms follow a simple pattern, which is input, process, and output. First, you take input from the user, then you process that input using logic. Finally, you produce an output. Understanding algorithms helps you think logically and organize your code better. Now let us move on to while loops. A while loop allows you to repeat code as long as a condition is true. This is useful when you do not know in advance how many times the loop should run. For example, you can keep asking the user for input until they decide to stop. You can create an infinite loop using while true. Inside the loop, you can check for a condition to break out of it. The break statement immediately exits the loop. This is useful when a specific condition is met. Another control statement is pass. Pass does nothing and acts as a placeholder. It is helpful when you want to write code later, but keep the structure complete. These control statements give you more control over how loops behave. Now let us talk about the problem set for this week. The main focus was applying error handling and loops together. You likely worked on programs that required continuous user input. One key lesson was validating user input using try and except. Instead of assuming correct input, you learned to handle mistakes safely. Another lesson was using while loops to keep asking the user until valid input is given. You also practiced using break to exit loops when a condition is met. This combination makes your programs more interactive and reliable. By solving these problems, you start thinking more like a programmer. You learn to expect errors and handle them properly. Now let us go over the key takeaways from this week. Try and except helps prevent your program from crashing. ValueError and NameError are common errors you should understand. Algorithms help you structure your thinking into clear steps, while loops allow repeated execution based on conditions. Tasks give you control over loop behavior. Finally, combining these concepts leads to stronger and more user-friendly programs. That is it for week 3 of CS50P. If you found this helpful, make sure to like the video and subscribe for the next weeks. See you in the next one.